Hey, listen, London came calling and we answered the call. Let's talk about it. We were here when the European League of Football announced that they were going to create some random league with 8 teams, which would expand to 16, I believe, right? We were here when that happened. We were here when they expanded to the Raiders, to the Vienna Vikings, Helvetic, even the Milan team came into the mix. We were here when the most anticipated markets joined into one of the top leagues, and that was Paris, Munich getting the team, and a couple others, Madrid. We were here every step of the way, even when the team up north, the Nordic Storm, shout out to the Storm organization, by the way, for hooking your boy up with some gear, first-class organization. But that defeats the point of this segment. We were here along the way, breaking down the news when they came into the mix. We have a new team, London, a second London team. It's in the mix. They came calling, and we answered. We're here. Athletes Forum Podcast, new YouTube channel covering football in Europe. Listen, appreciate everyone's support. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment. You know how this works, right? That's a long story in regards to why this is getting going in regards to a new channel, but that's neither here or there. We got some breaking news to dive into. We have a brand new, and we knew this was coming, but there is a new London football team that will be playing in 2027 in the European Football Alliance, one of the top 2 leagues, allegedly, in Europe. The London Guards came calling, and we answered. There's a lot we want to dive into here, right? How does it happen? How does it influence the London market, right? London has all the power. We'll talk about that, right? The EFA's 7th franchise, and they should be getting an 8th, right, with the recent news. We'll dive into that a little bit towards the end of the show, right? London Guard, not Guards. London Guard is the new and the 7th team in the European Football Alliance. Let's kind of dive into it. What does this mean for the league, the landscape of Europe? What does it mean for this offseason? What did they learn from the London Warriors in the American Football League Europe, right? Let's kind of dive into that, right? Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Let's get right into it. Hey, and while you're here, subscribe to the new channel. All right, I appreciate you. Hey, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. The London Guard, right? They've officially announced. Now, we knew this was coming. We knew this was a possibility a couple years ago when we were in the ELF, and we were hoping for a London team. Paris was probably the most anticipated market until they became a team. Once they became a team, people were wanting to go to London. Now, Nordic came before London, and people were satisfied with Nordic, and especially the success that Nordic is having, right? But we still were hungry for that London team, right? We still wanted that London market, right? There were a bunch of avenues financially, how would it work, logistically, who would play for them. I tell you what, this team in the EFA was a team that's been built for probably the past 2 years. And when I say team, I mean organization, right? So you think about the London Guard, the first thing I want to dive into is the impact for the London Warriors, right? Because the London Warriors, for what they're doing now in their playoff team in their respective league, right? Kind of underwhelming because we don't feel like we got the full experience for the London Warriors because they got off to such a late start. The league didn't do them any service by getting them or announcing them just weeks before the season. Now, it took them a while to kind of get their groove, but as you can see now, they're a playoff caliber team in the American Football League Europe. This offseason is all about London. It's all about London, right? London Warriors, London Guard. This offseason is all about London, right? Because now the London Guard are going to learn from the London Warriors, right? The London Guard is going to be able to see, all right, what did they do right? What did they do wrong, right? I know, allegedly, visas could have been an issue Hell, I'll say it. I talked to a potential quarterback that the Warriors were going after who told me visas were issues. They were in talks with him about that, right? So marketing, what does that look like? Ownership, what does that look like? Everything that happened this year for the London Warriors, and for lack of a better term, was a test for the London Warriors. The London Guards, I can guarantee, study that, right? Study what to do, study what not to do, logistically, how to go about this operation. So this offseason, when both championships play, the EFA, right, the Big Four, right, the Gold Bowl, once all the championships are done playing, this offseason is all about London. London Warriors versus the London Guard. The battle for homegrown talents. Both are going to get a full offseason to recruit, to build, to capitalize on getting the best talent on their team, right? This even, and this is a topic for another day, even drives the point of we need one league. And honestly, I would love for both of these teams to be in that one league, right? Is there enough talent in London to go around, in the UK to go around? Some would say yes, right? But again, is it going to be respectable talent for both teams to be competitive? That's yet to be seen, right? So London Guard playing in 2027, right? They become the first expansion team for the EFA, led by founder of the Gandler Group, David Gandler, and also president and partner of Gandler Sports Group. London Guard give us an opportunity to engage in a wide cross-section of the community, including audience beyond English football traditional fan base, while making better year-round use of Betworth Stadium, creating an additional value for Leyton Orient. And I apologize if I said that wrong. All right. The guard, I can't say guards, right? Cannot say guards. The Guard have a general manager, William Elgitti. I apologize if I said that wrong. He goes, we are incredibly proud to introduce London Guard. We want to build a club with purpose, one that brings electric game day atmosphere to East London, connects with the community, inspires the next generation, and gives British American football something to rally behind. Now, it sounds like they do have BAFA in their back pocket in regards to support, which is true because you're definitely going to need it, right? I would refer to my guy, Matt Bresington, who could talk to you guys more about that and what's going on behind the scenes, right? But we have a second team, right? We have a team that is run by a owner who has proven success, right? A owner who has a soccer club, a owner that has or had influence in television with Fubo TV, right? So I don't say that just to brag about the type of owner that they have. I say that because they have a guy who has a plan, who's competent, and knows how to run a business. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to in Europe, is you're running your organization like a business, right? And how are you going to do that, be respectable, and make sure that you are holding up to the standard, paying imports all the time, making sure they have a safe living environment, taking care of the expenses. Medical is huge, right? Medical is huge. Right. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out. But I tell you what, this is about to be one of the most intriguing, interesting off seasons we've had in a long time. Right. This past off season was interesting for all the bad reasons. We just lost the ELF. We had two leagues battling against each other for talent. Right. And both of them just listen, I'm not afraid to say it. We haven't. The quality of football between the two leagues in regards to quality of play, for me, hasn't lived up to expectations. We got great games. We got a lot of high-scoring games in the AFLE. We got a lot of close battles in the EFA with talent. We got the lower teams in the EFA competing with the higher teams, while the competition is almost one-sided in the American Football League Europe. We did just see the Panthers beat the Vikings, right? And that was a Vikings team that had all their starters, right? Take for it what you want. But this is going to be an interesting offseason, right? Because now not only does the teams in London, not only do they have power, but their players have power. Keep in mind, tons of homegrown or would-be homegrown players in London are playing all across Europe. Glenn Tunga, right? Chad Waldron, right? I don't know if Lewis Thomas is playing this year, right? But there's a bunch of them on other teams that are making a name for themselves, right? Or have already made a name for themselves that have given other teams, maybe not championship caliber teams, a chance. So they're going to give you a chance. And if we're going off what we've seen over the past couple of years, they want to make sure they're playing for a team and organization that, for lack of a better term, has their shit together, right? So the fact that London Guard are run by the ownership and sports group and the track record that they have, you could say maybe give them a leg up on the London Warriors. However, London Warriors have proof of concept. They have proof on the field, right? They've already started creating a fan base. Now imagine what they could do with a full offseason. They're recruiting this offseason is going to be wild when it comes to London. There are players, American imports, Euro imports, that are all wanting to play for the London team, right? So listen, this is fantastic news. This is great news. I'm excited to kind of see how this all pans out. This is going to be a team that we're going to follow closely, right? But the London Guard, team number seven in the European Football Alliance, is making a run next offseason for the 2027 season, right? Let's dive into their website. I kind of like their setup already, right? A lot of London influence built in East London. All right, the Guard is built on the character, energy, ambition of the city. We call home a new team for a new era. I like that. Designed for the future, right? I'll be interested to see what they do with their uniform designs. I don't want this to be any resemblance of a Berlin Thunder team in regards to design. Now, Berlin went more to like a gold-black uniform concept, right? There'll be a little bit of red, but Berlin started with the red and gold concept, right? So we'll see how this all pans out. Powered by the community, that tells me they have a backing. That tells me they have a following, right? They're already off to a head start because Gaylor has the soccer club, right? So that group alone, right, if they follow in regards to, the area and what they're going to be marketing in, will probably be your initial fan base, right? So listen, fascinating. Glad this happened. Was wondering if and when it was going to happen, but needless to say, it is happening. So drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. How do we feel about team number 7 in Europe, the London Guard? That's going to be interesting to keep saying that, right? The London Guard and not having to say guards with an S. We know the last guards team in Helvetic, and we won't go down that route today. All right, we won't go down that route. Yeah, there's been a couple other things that's been going on as well too. Let's get right into it. Another breaking news, more European Football Alliance worthy, right? And maybe this could be team number 8, right? We did know we was getting a London team. We also knew at some point we were getting a Milan team, aiming for 2027 season. It sounds like. All right, fresh off the press. Let me pull this up for us. All right, fresh off the press. NFL player-led investment group unites the Rhinos and the Milano Seamen to create an organization in the Italian Football League. Huge. Doesn't make sense to have two of the same organization playing in the same stadium, competing for the same fan base. Why not just join forces? Right? So this is the first step in regards to Justin Pugh, who is I believe he's either the owner or GM of the IFL. I'm not sure exact title, right? But let's kind of dive into it. Milan American Football today announced the launch, and this was a couple days ago or yesterday. Together, the clubs have won 10 Italian Bowls, 19 youth championships, beginning with 2027 season. Every team currently competing under the Rhinos and Seamen name, from the senior level down to the youth and flag football, will compete as one organization. So you can expect a change in colors, a change in team name. Who will they be? Right, Milano something. Right. Here we go. The new club is led by Justin Pugh, a 11-year NFL veteran who was drafted first round by the New York Giants, also played for the Arizona Cardinals. In addition, the Pugh serves as commissioner of the IFL, where he predominantly focuses on growth and partnerships across league. Co-founder Harrison Green, a college coach whose stops include SMU, South Alabama, Penn State. John Hopkins, FIU, is based in Milan and will lead the football club's development organization. The Rhinos and Seamen names will be retired, but the players and coaches' families in both clubs will carry forward into new organization. This sounds like EFA team number 8. Sounds like EFA team number 8, right? And again, they're going to be able to learn from what that team down in Firenze, Red Lions, did this year, right? Now, this is not a diss at the AFLE. I think they rushed their product. I think they rushed London. Granted, London's kind of bailing them out by being a playoff caliber team. I think they rushed the Firenze team. I don't think in regards to products, it's been a great product. And I'm just calling a spade with a spade. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Listen, it is what it is. I think they know that. Hindsight 2020. I think they probably would have had a more in-depth plan. And I even said it from the beginning, it seems like that's what the EFA kind of is focusing on, more long-term stability, which we all hope. So we'll see how this pans out. But I'm excited to see what this new team is going to look like. I think both new organizations are powered by some high-end people that know how to run a business, that have a plan, right, to not just growing the game and putting out a competitive product, but trying to be a competitor in Europe, at the top level in Europe, right? You think about the EFA, since these two teams seems like they're going to be playing in that conference, allegedly. Listen, it was dominated by the top two teams, Nordic and Munich. I don't think Frankfurt and Paris did their jobs in regards to playing the caliber that they should have played in, right? I think Raiders and Prague did what they could and, almost made it to the playoffs, right? So basically how the EFA has to take that next step, these two teams coming in have to compete mid-tier at bare minimum, right? Or maybe pushing one of those top tiers. Paris and Frankfurt got to get better. It's unacceptable in regards to the type of athletes those guys have on their team, and literally the quality of ball we saw. Listen, it is what it is, right? Prague and Raiders, listen, they were what they were, but in a bigger league, they're not your bottom tier teams. They're better than half the teams in the AFL league. Listen, it is what it is, right? If you want to drop a comment, we could debate it and talk about it. Listen, it is what it is, right? So I'll be excited to see how all that pans out. But listen, it's been a great show. We're back. I'm getting back to my roots, right? I created the Athletes Forum podcast to really tap into my roots, really keep in with what's going on in Europe. I want to get back to my roots, and that's talking to players, talking to coaches, right? I think it got a little one-sided. Listen, I'll admit it, but I'm going to get back to my roots. I'm excited about this London Guard team. Excited to see how they built this team. And listen, I don't know if he's involved or not, but if he's not involved, there's no better person in Europe. There's no better person that understands youth talent. There's no better person that understands the European market, the UK market, the London market better than Matt Breslington. So again, I don't know this off the top of my head, but I hope he's involved with building this team, right? My first interview, I guess you could say, with Matt Breslington, we built a hypothetical London team, and this was probably like 3 or 4 years ago, right? And I know he redid something similar, maybe as early as or as late as last season, right? London Guard, if you watch this show, if you made it this far, 1, subscribe to the channel. 2, you need to tap into Matt Breslington. You will not get someone who's more tapped in all of Europe to talent than Matt Breslington, right? Food for thought. So we'll see how this all pans out. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe to the new channel, right? Subscribe to First Down Magazine. We work with those guys as well, too. London Guard, team number 7 in the EFA, and they have all the power. The London market has all the power heading into this offseason.